right amount and healthy dose of motivation. Coach Didi is standing by.
The kindest thing you can do for yourself is let people go when they want to go. You can beg and chase and will for them not to, but when they make up their mind they are really going, let them go. You see, the thing is, if you do not let people who no longer want to be in your space go, you cannot make room for the people who want to be in your space. Stop forcing relationships. Stop forcing change on people. The only person you can force anything on is yourself. So when was the last time you held yourself accountable for where you are in your life? Taking full responsibility. Sitting and thinking about it and doing something. Not focusing on your problems or solutions, but focusing on what you can. Not focusing on your problems, rather, but focusing on your solutions. So let people go. You see this mental health illness? It's because you keep trying to force things to be in the way you want them to be, and they will never be. People are responsible for their own decisions. Let them be and let them go if that's what they want.
Welcome back, and now I'm sure you know how to let go of unnecessary people, things, and all those kind of unnecessary things in your spaces. Up next is our fitness corner, where we put the body in a great mind to be physically strong for the day's activities. Let's take our exercise segment.
If you trip up, you keep on jumping straight back into it, and let's burn those calories.
Welcome back from that fitness corner. I hope you do know, by the way, that exercise is also a form of self-care, and of course it is very, very medicinal. We'll take another short break, and when we come back, we will be ready for our discussion segments on Good Morning Abuja.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B. Ladylike!
This is Entertainment Gist.
In the 14th century, 15th, 16th century, and even 17th.
That is for zakah to cure our greed.
The purpose why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to create humanity.
The Bible talks about a man called Apollos. This is NTA Abuja Channel 5.
See you same time.
And have a great and blessed week ahead.
So good to know that you're still tuned to the show this morning. On our discussion segment, we have, like always, something very insightful and informative. We will take a look at cancer as one of the prevalent diseases in Nigeria, and my guest is already seated with me. Please let's make welcome Dr. Opeyemi Muili. She's the medical director for AFED.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. It's so good to be here. It's always a pleasure to be here to talk about things affecting public health in Nigeria and in the world as a whole. So thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let us start by taking a look at what cancer is in the first place.
Okay. As you rightly said, cancer is one of the most prevalent diseases ravaging the world right now. And cancer is simply an abnormal growth in any part of the body. Talk about any part from the head to toe. there can be abnormal growth in the body. So cancer is that abnormal growth that occurs in the cells of any part of the body. And I remember in primary school or secondary school, we taught about cell. Cell is the basic unit of life. Like every part of our body is made up of cells. So these are the things that grow abnormally and result to cancer. So we can refer to cancer as the bad guy because it is quite malignant. So malignancy means something that is bad. This is to say that there can be other growths in the body, other growths that are abnormal, but that are not cancerous, but they are not malignant. But cancer is an abnormal growth in any part of the body that's malignant.
And that's when it becomes terminal.
Yes. There are stages of cancer. So the terminal is the last stage. I know that it's palliative. There's no cure, and you can only give palliative care. You can only care for the pain and the symptoms. But it's already terminal means the person will eventually have to,
Does maintaining a healthy weight by any means influence this?
Yes, a whole lot. There are risk factors that cause cancer, and obesity is one of the risk factors. Obesity is defined as a BMI, that's a body mass index, that is more than 20, that is more than 30. So basically, let's talk about the normal. So the normal BMI is supposed to be around 18.5 to 24.9. So anything that is above 25 is overweight, and anything that is above 30 is obesity. So because of how obesity is linked with so many other diseases like diabetes, hypertension, it's also a very important risk factor in causing cancer. This is because the mechanism has not been well explained, but because of the fact that obesity exposes people to high level of sugar and insulin. So let's talk about insulin a bit. Insulin is an hormone in the body that actually processes the sugar that we take. So in people that are obese, this hormone, insulin, is not able to work effectively. It's resistant. The body resists it because of the high level of sugar in the body. And when this happens, they are not able to break down the sugar, and then this allows for the growth of abnormal cells. This allows abnormal cells to thrive in the body, and this also exposes them to, cancer. And this obesity that we talk about is not even in how somebody looks. It's about how the internal organs look. That's what we call this visceral fat. How the heart looks, how it is surrounded by fat. And when this happens, these organs are not able to function properly, and abnormal growth can occur in them, and this can cause cancer. So obesity is a very important risk factor that causes cancer.
So I see it like it's one of those things that can trigger your diet, the things your intake, some of that can predispose one.
Exactly.
Okay, speaking of that, what is the role of alcohol, carbonated drinks, and other such things to exposing one to this risk? Okay,
like I've said, there are general risk factors that cause cancer, and alcohol is also one of the very important risk factors that causes cancer. Alcohol exposes people to cancer because alcohol has been found to contain, even the bitter alcohol, they're actually made up of sugar and fat. And as I've mentioned, the role that sugar plays in aiding an atmosphere for abnormal cells to thrive, to grow in the body. So when you take alcohol, like excessive alcohol, the normal alcohol limits in the body for men shouldn't take more than 2 bottles a day, and for women shouldn't take more than 1 bottle a day. So when you take this, you expose the cells in your body to more sugar, which can now which can be an environment for these cancerous cells to thrive. So and there are also other things that alcohol is made up of, like benzene, that have been found to be carcinogenic, that can also can increase your risk to cancer. For caffeine or carbonated drinks, the exact cause has not been determined, like has not been ascertained why it causes cancer, but it can also be explained just what I've said, that some of these drinks contains carcinogens. Carcinogens are things that can predispose you to cancer, like things that things that have components that can predispose you to cancer, like saccharin, like benzene that I've said. So that's what happens with carbonated drinks and alcohol. That's how they increase the risk for having cancer.
Interesting. Okay, so now on the other hand, the opposite side of it, what are some of those diet changes that one should invest in to reduce this to reduce this risk?
Thank you. Diet is very important. It's a very important part of our life. In fact, someone that eats well and drinks water can actually live a very, very good life. A life that is devoid of diseases and especially cancer. So talking about diets, we want to eat food that is very rich in fruits, vegetables, fiber, very little carbohydrates. But fruit, vegetables, water. Like water is also very important. So avoid food that are processed. Food that contain processed food, sausages, junks, fatty food. But the things that you should focus on: fruits, vegetables, then fiber. Very important.
Interesting. The month of October is actually dedicated to breast cancer awareness worldwide. So now, Doug, let's delve a little bit into breast cancer. What is it? What is that major difference between how it can present in men and how it can present in women?
Okay. Talk about that. It's very important to know that it's not just women that can have breast cancer. Men also have breast cancer, but it's just that the ratio is quite tilted more in women.
Okay.
So
how is that?
About 0.5 to 1% of men can get cancer, but about over 90%, like 90%, the what do I want to say now? I'll talk about the. Okay, breast cancer is more prevalent in women than men. So only about 0.5 or 1% of men can get breast cancer, while the other percentage is for women. And this is because of mostly because of the hormones in the body. Women have estrogen, and this estrogen is actually a thriving factor, the one that allows cancer to thrive if it is in excess. So that's why we also talk about women that use COCPs, combined oral contraceptive pills, because this can predispose them to cancer. Women that are on more replacement therapy because of menopause, because estrogen is a very important hormone in the causing of cancer. Estrogen is very vital. It's very vital. It's very key in the development of cancer. So because women have estrogen and men have very little estrogen and a lot of testosterone. So that hormone, hormone alone is something that predisposes women to cancer. That's amongst other risk factors, such as, as we mentioned, obesity. Then genetics, very key.
So
genetics is very key. So that's why it's very important to know family history. Has anybody had any any cancer? In fact, any cancer at all. Any examination, if you see something, then you can say something, but you will not see something if you are not looking. So you have to actively look. It's very important that every month you stand in front of a mirror and examine your breast. You check for any change in color, any change in size, any abnormal growth in the breast, no matter how small, any lump in the breast, any change in size, any change in color, any rash, any itchiness in the breast, in the armpits. You also examine your nipple. Look at the nipple. Is there any change? Is it dimpling? Is it going in? Has it come out more than it used to be? Any discharge? You press and see is there any discharge, and you make sure that you don't forget your armpits. There's any growth in the armpits, any rash, any discoloration. So these are some of the symptoms that you can see, that you have to go to the hospital and examine that breast. So that is for the breast, Okay. And then there are also other symptoms of the body that you also have to look out for. So like weight, are you losing weight? Like are your clothes now loose? Very important
for men and women.
For men and women, you have to look at your clothes. You have to be very conscious of your weight. Be very aware of your weight. And are you losing appetite? Are you finding it difficult to eat? Are you easily satisfied when you eat? So I'm just talking about the general symptoms aside the specific symptoms for the breast. Yes.
Interesting. Dr. Opeyemi Muile this morning on Good Morning Abuja, educating us on cancer awareness and advocacy. If you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Abuja on the Unity Station. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, Dr. Opeyemi Muile has more insights into the discussion. Please stay with us.
Are you interested in being up to date with the pacey world of sports? Our rebranded Capital Sports is the finest bet for your doing so.
So join us every Thursday live at 3 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja to talk sports for your viewing pleasure. Remember, you can be a part of this #1 sporting program. Join us on the analysis, views and opinions.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are not ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike.
This is Entertainment Gist.
Welcome back, and it's so good to know that you're still tuned to the program. Doc, we're back on it. Okay, now for those who are already predisposed, those who are already living with the disease, what can you tell them about how to care for and probably elongate lifespan?
Okay, thank you so much. As we know, cancer is a very, very serious disease, which can also be very deadly. But it's also important to know that it's not a death sentence, and that is where the early detection comes in. Like, it is key. Early detection is key, and you can't detect something that you don't know, something that you are not aware of. So yeah, it's very important to catch it very early, catch it very young, so that it can help elongate